Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Pea
Podcast.
Yes, I'm Shubhangi
I'm Naina.
and today we have a lot of things to talk about, primarily fae folk in India. Yes, so, ta-da! Okay, we literally have like a long set of things that we want to talk about. I literally found an extremely well-written paper about this. So a lot of information has been taken from public blogs and specifically that paper, which was published talking about the cultural impact of different folklores across parts of northern India. Let's get into it without further ado. Fae folk and associated tales have long been the subject of intrigue for people around the world. India is no different. From local tales to folklore, there are plenty of mentions of spirit and fae-like entities that bear similarities to other tales, or even if it is different characteristics. Fae folk from Uttarakhand have recently come into sharper focus. The folklores, if I must say so, have been brought into the spotlight given the recent virality of different reels associated to different traditions that have been carried out, and it's very colorful. So my feed was, like froth with it. Exactly. And I was like, okay, I'm curious, so let's explore. People have been discovering and discussing the many traditions and practices because it has been very intriguing. The North Indian folklore has been kept a lot under wraps, so it's a very low-key approach to the scene. But now we get to see like a brighter aspect of perhaps the mysterious and mythical aspect of the scene. Uttarakhand, as we know as a state, is quite well renowned for its beauty and is a popular destination for many that seek respite from hectic lives. People mostly travel to Uttarakhand so that they can live in the lap of nature for a bit and revel in the calm that it brings. But it is also quite mysterious, and it is here that beauty coexists with myth and magic. To simply put it,
Yes.
it is a place which is also quite spiritually rich. And I say so because it is said that gods and goddesses live in Uttarakhand's verdant valleys and snow-capped peaks. People like to say that it is a land which is frequented by fairies. The meadows here, the mountains, the forests, and areas close to rivers are said to be home to a lot of fairies. So let's begin with the tales. The tales mainly surround this mountain called Khet Parvat, and the space around is called the country of fairies. It is located in the Tehri district. The Khet Parvat is about 10,500 feet in height, and it offers mesmerizing views. Keeping the folklore aside, the space is already very well loved by tourists. This mountain is also well known for the many stories that have been passed down through generations. Now, it is regarded as the home to 9 fairy sisters, according to a legend. People here refer to these sisters as the Achanis. And recently there has been a song associated to the same that talks about the beauty of these entities. So, the origin of this song is from these very legends. The Achanis are said to be so beautiful that when it comes to, praising someone who's very beautiful, people in these regions, they compare them to Achanis. As beautiful as an Achani. Because Achanis are characterized as spirits, and like we often characterize fae as entities that are very elegant, love everything beautiful, all very magical, all very mystic. So it is the same here, and they often appreciate that beauty in this way by the comparison. So when we're talking about the traditional oral narratives, these narratives consist of a wide range of mythological origins when it comes to the depiction of Achans. So when we talk about these fairies, while we are roughly referring to them as fairies, these can also be synonymous to spiritual deities or different demigods of the sun. So it depends on the kind of depiction that people have and the kind of perception that they hold, because there's a juxtaposition of good and bad here. So we know more about that in the podcast later as we move forward. So majority believes that these fairies, they protect both the place and the people on the 9 ridges of the mountain. This is Khet Parvat. During full moon nights, it is said that people have seen these fairies dancing between the ridges. There are narratives that describe them being very helpful and very divine in nature. It is due to this that people set up different shrines worshipping these entities. And the aim here is to carry out the different century-old tradition with much enthusiasm till this date, in order to appease them, in order to express their gratitude or showcase the fact that they know and they acknowledge the fact that these entities have been there to protect them and provide them with a lot of support, guide them through tough times, and hence they pay respect through all the traditions and all the processes that they carry out. Now, elders in these regions are often well aware of what goes on and exists in this space. So they often want visitors to not make a lot of noise or wear extremely bright clothing in these mountains. Because the thing is, it might upset these entities.
Okay, bright clothing?
Yeah, apparently. Then again, like I said, a lot of narratives believe that these are like protective spirits that guide and protect. Then again, there are some depictions that shows these acharis as quite dangerous. Entities that abduct or, like kidnap young girls, abduct young men. So there's a dual nature to this aspect, and depending upon the situation, mystic forces can be both advantageous and detrimental to the people. So
like there are two sides of a coin.
Exactly. So they're like both the reason of hope and both despair and fear that exists in these local communities.
So it's like they can be good and they can be bad when they want.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are very, like biased in their opinion. They're like, oh no, it can only be bad. And then a lot of people are like, no,
it can only be good.
Yeah, they're deities. They've been, like here for us for long, and they're only good. But like given on the narrative, we see both sides of the coin. And these folklores are significantly, like shaped the kind of practices, the regional identity, cultural values, and even the spiritual aspects that people believe in that region. Now let's talk about the many names of these entities. Like I said, it is not only restricted to Uttarakhand.
Okay, so
it's all around northern India, named differently by different people.
So like more in the hilly stations?
Yeah, all mountainous regions in the Garhwal region also. It is there that you see like everybody has similar tales, slightly different names and slightly different reasons of origin. So we'll be diving into origins, but before that I'll give you a brief intro about what the names are. So when you visit Uttarakhand, there happen to be signboards along the roads that promote the area around Khet Parvat as Pariyoga Desh. So it is from there, like people are often using it as the aspect of, like it's already very mystical. So it might boost tourism, it might drive more people in, make them curious, have them stay. So that's one aspect. Now here, there's different names. Some people call them apsaras, others call them fairies. They are said to live in the Chamoli district's Valley of Flowers. So they have like this penchant of being drawn to all things colorful and bright and beautiful. And hence they are like residing in an area that is referred to as the Valley of Flowers.
Right, like we have seen a lot of images about the Valley of Flowers, remember?
Exactly.
Yeah, like there are lots of reels about it.
Yeah, and it's not only that, it's like we've already heard that fae-like creature loves to live around meadows and valleys, areas that are very beautiful. So that's something that is overlapping to other tales as well. The Valley of Flowers is said to have been created by flowers showered by the gods from heaven. Additionally, Pauri Garhwal's Itakhal is well known for its fairies. I'm not sure what that exactly means, but apparently this area is said to be home to a lot of active fairy activity.
Like, are tourists allowed to go there?
People visit, people might be curious, people visit, but it's not like if you go, you're gonna face something. It's like the area is more well known and there's active tales from recent years. Yes. And fairies are also known here in these regions as Archery, like I mentioned, Mantri, Apsara, and Pari.
Like those are the Hindi versions of
we're using different synonyms for the same thing. So Archery is also referred to as Devi in Jagars. Another name for them is Van Devi, the forest goddess. The Acharis adore flowers and cherish the springtime, when the beauty of nature is at its peak. These Acharis are said to have quite seductive beauty, and they're said to lure people away if they're very interested.
That is very similar to other
folklore.
Exactly, there's very common features about the fae folklore from other countries and what we have here. Like let it be them being very pretty, being attracted to the meadows, or being luring people away.
Exactly. There was this definition that I found in the paper which said, "वे आकाश की तरीका थी, धरती की चांदनी, रूप की ज्योति थी और पर्वत शिखरों की उजास." It's just comparing them to the beauty of nature. The sky, the earth, the light, and even as beautiful as the peak of the hills.
They're basically comparing them to nature, saying they're equally beautiful like nature.
Exactly. And this is the description that is mentioned in the Ras. As a result, attractive women and girls are frequently compared to Acharis in the Garhwal.
Like when people, there is a culture of referring beautiful women as Apsara.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we literally have songs.
Yes, we have songs exactly with that. So
we actually have songs regarding to that comparison. So it's not astounding that is how they chose to carry it forward.
Right, exactly.
So the general consensus is that Acharis are harmless and if they're amused. Otherwise they can be dangerous.
Okay, so I think this goes without saying. Any deity, any entity, when they are calm, everyone likes them. Like they are calm, they are nice.
They might be planting bushes, planting protection.
But when you piss someone off, obviously no. Like if you piss normal humans off, they will
Exactly. It's not only deities; it's also normal humans.
Exactly.
As long as they are calm, they're cool. And whenever they are not calm, you don't want to mess with them.
Exactly. You don't want to piss it off.
Yeah. So, like I said, they are harnessed when they are amused, right? So, people say that there is a particular dance which is called raso, and if it is performed, it can placate acharis, also known as achari nachana. This ranso is also known as achari nachana. So, this makes them quite joyful, and they dance with grace and elegance. During worship, acharis, since they appreciate everything beautiful, are often given flowers, milk, saris, decorations, and other lovely items. To, like please them and thank.
So the video that you sent to me, the people dancing and everything, so that was them appeasing the fairies.
Yeah, that was the entire thing, was to appease like the deity of the forest.
Right.
Yes. So now moving on to the origins, because there's so many stories of it. So many. There's like 3 or 4 of them. So acharis are thought to have been spirits of unmarried girls who have passed away and are yearning for their unfulfilled desires. If I remember correctly, we had something similar even in our first
Bengali,
episode.
Exactly. In the Bengali folklore.
Yes.
But they were considered as ghosts and people with, unfulfilled desires.
Yes,
but they were not
that
exactly
negative connotation associated.
Exactly, they had negative connotations there, not a positive one as
Exactly. They were like harmful, should not be crossed, you better think about never crossing your paths.
Right, exactly.
So, for actually it is thought that an unmarried girl becomes an achari if she dies young, particularly by falling off a tree or a cliff in a forest.
Okay, so that is very similar to the Bengali folklore. The difference is Bengali folklore
does not specify how they pass away.
And also they, like you said before, they think that they are harmful.
Yes.
They are considered as harmful and not someone to be, prayed to at least.
Yeah. Not even prayed, like people pray that they do not cross paths.
Right, exactly. And here they are considered as protective spirits, so there's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a significant change of perception.
Exactly.
Another myth claims that they are associated with Lord Krishna, who was accompanied by gopis when he arrived in Kedarghat. They were therefore changed into acharis upon their demise. So the gopis, once they passed away, they became acharis. The idea is reinforced by the fact that acharis' strong preference for flute music. Now there's a folklore associated to it, which we'll be discussing towards the end.
Okay.
So it is said that they love the music of a flute, and the legend of Jitu Bagarwal is one that we'll be discussing later. Okay. And there's also a legend of this individual called Suraj Nag. It is all associated with the fact that they attracted attention of these deities and then they were taken away.
Oh, okay. So like they were never seen again after this.
Another legend holds that the acharis are the daughters of Ravana, including Bhanumati and Bindumati, who were offered to Lord Shiva, and as a result they live in the mountains, acting as Lord Shiva's Devadasis, like the divine servants. According to a different legend, Mandodari was given a blessing by Lord Brahma, which allowed any god or goddess to appear before her whenever she called upon. So it's like she's summoning them to be her offspring.
Okay, I see.
With each of Mandodari's numerous god invocations, Sankalpit Putriya, that is like divine daughters, were born. These daughters later became acharis and lived among the Bugyals in Garhwal region after Mandodari married Ravana. The Bugyals refer to the meadows of the Garhwal region after Mandodari got married to Ravana.
Okay.
Now, these were associated to the myths of India and the legends of India that are quite well known. Now, what about local legends? So, local legend connects the origin of acharis to that of a local ruler. So it is said that there was this ruler of Chaudagaon, like a ruler of 14 villages, named Asha Raut. And he had 6 queens, but he had no children. So he was very sad about the fact. Okay. So one day he discussed, the cause of all of his sorrows with all of his queens. So the eldest queen was called Butolya. She proposed that he get married again.
Wow.
So she proposed that he get married again, and this time she suggested that he travel to another whole village. The village is called Thatga.
Okay.
When it comes to looking for the next bride. So the king went to Thatga and he was very warmly received, and he visited Deepa Panwal's home.
Okay.
He was very pleased with the way that he was received and the hospitality that he had to offer. So he went ahead and asked Deepa if he could marry her younger sister.
Okay. So he asked Deepa to marry her younger sister.
And he did marry her younger sister called Deva. Now, Deva gave birth to 9 daughters.
I'm so sorry. Like from having absolutely no kids too.
He has 9 children.
Yes. And that 2 daughters.
Yes. They were called Kamla Rauteli, Devi Rauteli, Asha Rauteli, Basdei, Igula, Bigula, Sadai, Bardai, and Garura Rauteli.
Okay, what does Rauteli mean?
I think it's a title.
Okay.
Kamla Rauteli, Devi Rauteli. We quickly look it up.
Because I'm curious, why Rauteli? Was it like, common surname back then?
Let's see. Oh, and since this person was called Asha Rawat, Roteli refers to a woman or a daughter of the Rawat family.
Okay.
Commonly recognized as a woman of courage and high spirit in the Garhwali culture.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Right, yeah. So basically it means courage. So it basically means courage.
Yeah, it's basically stating that she was they were a part of the Rawat family, and then they were courageous.
It's much similar to using core for... Is it that way?
I guess. Wait, I'll look that up as well.
Yes, basically it means lioness.
In terms of expression of the fact, yeah, they are aligning.
Right, exactly. So they mean, like, both of them basically mean that they are courageous,
strong.
brave, and strong.
Even my surname I was looking up has this origin. People who like apparently study a lot.
That pretty much aligns.
I think so.
Now I'm curious about mine.
Look it up.
Just a second.
Oh, it is associated to holder of like for landlords and chiefs. Chieftain or landlord, headman.
Okay, yeah, mine has a very similar. It means leader, warrior, or lord. Yeah.
Managing stuff. Okay, now back. Coming back.
We went off track over there.
So they had like 9 daughters, and these girls were considered magical because by the age of 12, they had, they learned to walk in a very short time, and when they grew up to be really beautiful. So by the time that they were 12, they had transformed into beautiful young maidens who enjoyed dressing up very nicely, and they loved like all things pretty. So once they were like 12 and older, they asked their father for beautiful clothes and jewelries, and they got all decked up. Then when they received everything that they wanted, their ornaments included the traditional nath, gulband, sheesh pul and others. Once they got dressed up, they went to Manda, traditional dance form in the village, and danced for entertainment before they were returning home. That day, when they came back at night, they had a dream. In this dream, they saw same Nagraj, king of snakes.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes. So they dreamt of a snake god, and they dreamt that he made them his queens, and that he made love with them. So the next morning, they took a lot of their pitchers and went to Pandhara, where they took a bath. They filled their pitchers and they were trying to come back. Now, what happens is that they are unable to return. When they look back, all they see is pitch black. Like it's all dark. And when they look forward, they are able to clearly see the way ahead. So they decide to move forward. They do this until they reach back to Thadgam.
Okay, so where the place that they went to before?
Yeah, it's like their uncle's place.
Okay, I see.
Thadgam is their uncle's place. So they met their uncle, and there again, like this maternal village was there. They visited it, and on the way they came across meadows where they found a lot of flowers. So they made flower gardens and decked themselves up, looking very beautiful. And then again, even from Thadgam, they could only move forward. Now this time the path led them to Kherkal, okay, towards Kherkal. Now it turns out on their path there happened to be a demon waiting there. But when Sam Nagraj saw that these maidens were walking towards Kherkal, he went ahead altered the thought of the demon, altered the process of thought of the demon. And when the demon approached the maidens, approaching Kherkal, he welcomed them. And he talked to them a lot, asked them where they were from, got to know the fact that these maidens wished to explore Kherkal now, because that was the only place where they could look forward to. And looking back, they could not really see what the world was around. So yeah, the demon greeted them, welcomed them, and allowed them to be. And later he became like a spirit brother to them.
Okay.
Once the women arrived to Kherkal, they never went back to their village. And they turned into entities called Acharis. Okay. The demon became their spiritual sibling.
Okay. So, did the snake lord do all of this to keep them there, or what happened?
That can be one way to put it. Because they became his queens, I guess he drew them where he wanted them. Or led them where he wanted. Because had he not kept an eye, he would not have been able to, alter the mind of the demon. And had he not, appeared in their dreams, they would not have embarked on the entire journey to, filling up the picture, going for a bath. So yeah, sure. That's kind of, they were led onto the path that they were at. Now, moving on, when we talk about the practices and beliefs of this region, there's many that people often hear. So let's take a look at them now. In the mountains and the forests, there are strict restrictions on human activities. Whenever I see something of the sort, I'm reminded of the evolution.
Every single thought brings us back there.
Yes. So yeah. So what are some of these common restrictions? Both men and women are prohibited from wearing clothes that are overtly bright. Women are required to wear their hair tied up at all times. It is believed that loud laughter, whistling, shouting, or yelling can attract malevolent spirits and should be avoided by both men and women, and particularly children.
This reminds me of your tour.
Exactly. Literally saved lives.
Exactly.
Men are discouraged from playing musical instruments like the flute.
Okay.
When shepherds take their sheep to graze in the bookyards, they first worship the one Devi, requesting, like her protection, guidance. Before eating a meal, a small portion is given to supernatural beings such as acharis or one Devi. It demonstrates people's deep respect for mystical forces and their local environment. But I believe this particular belief is not only limited to the Garhwal.
Right. It is going on everywhere. Like even right now, when we cook something, we do keep it aside. If it's not for one Devi or something, it's just said that
for the deities.
For the deities.
For the deities. So part of it would be like given.
The first bite. Remember the first thing that you do, it's kept for the deities.
Yes. And these practices, these beliefs, deeply shape the kind of cultural behavior, the practices that prevail in the region, impacting them.
Like to us, like the hair tying thing
is also very common.
It's also very common. It's very common. The fact that even when we step out, they are like tie up your hair when you come.
And like geographically, we live in an area that is a plain. You're not even in like the lower hills.
Right.
We're in
plains. Exactly. And we still have the same kind of. Like, it is there throughout the. To be honest, we have different when we look
multiple regions with multiple cultures.
Right. Exactly. Even in in my state in Kerala, there are different beliefs of keeping your hair open, especially for women. They're like it's not good for people around you, like not for yourself and not for the people around.
Exactly.
Like
I remember my grandma. She used to say, she's like, if you keep your hair open, you're basically signaling that I'm open to receiving all sorts of like things that can latch on. So you better not do that. Now I do not know if that was to scare me.
No, there is a thing. Like I remember mom telling an entire story regarding the same of a woman who had actually kept her hair open, and she ended up attaching a spirit to her, and she saw the spirit through the mirror because when she came back, like she had kept her hair open. Basically, the story goes very simple. She had kept her hair open. She went out with the friends. She came back late in the evening, and then she came back and she was trying to recomb her hair. Right, it's a mess. So when she was trying to comb her hair after coming back home, basically she saw a reflection of an old, very creepy looking woman who was playing with her hair. And she screamed and she fainted.
We're talking about this entire thing with our hair so.
Exactly. This is insane.
Yeah,
and
actually.
Also there's another there's another story of hair opening is that it's considered especially for married women in our culture, it's considered that if you have long hairs, you're not supposed to let it open when you're going to sleep. You're supposed to tie it up because it's not, they say it is especially bad for your husband.
Yeah, that is why it was bad for people.
Yes, it's they're if you keep your hair open, if you have long hairs and you keep it open, it is bad for your husband because there's an entire story about how a very beautiful woman had very long hair and she just had recently got married. So she basically had let her entire hair open. Okay, when I say hair open, hair long, I mean Rapunzel and hair, down the waist. Yeah, no. It was that it went down her waist and everything. So she just kept it on the side of the bed and she slept and her husband was sleeping right next to her. It said that in the middle of the night, a snake was able to get onto the bed because of her hair.
Okay.
And it ended up climbing up the bed and biting her husband.
That's one way to go about it.
Yeah, but there's an entire story about that.
Far less creepier than whatever we were expecting, but yeah.
Yeah. And it is an entire story which my mom keeps telling me from time to time. She's like, tie up your hair when you want to sleep. Doesn't matter even if it's a small, clutch or a small tie. Even if it is loose, it does not matter. Just tie it up. Don't keep it open.
And I have a habit of keeping my hair tied up the entire day before I go to sleep. My hair literally my hair is literally sprawled on my pillow like this.
Exactly, that's what they ask you to avoid. They literally ask you to avoid doing that.
I've been doing it for about 4-5 years now.
And they also they go ahead because the moment it hits 6, right? It turns 6 and if I have my hair open like this, because right now we're doing this and keeping my hair open, my mom will start screaming that tie up your hair.
Tie your hair up. That's my grandma for me. Anytime it hits 5, she's like,
tie up your hair.
Tie up your hair.
It doesn't matter if I just came out after a shower, she'll be tie up your hair. Does not matter. She's
I think we should do an entire episode on why we should tie up our hair. Let's explore all the folklore that might be existing just for hair.
Adding it
to the list.
Like,
The list keeps growing like exponentially every episode. We have like 5 topics added into this.
We should now make an entire list. Like,
Compiling the document as we talk about.
Right.
Right.
Okay, now getting back, we just
Yes.
got distracted a lot. Yes, sorry.
So again, now talking about the impact of the folklores. The folklores of archeries have been passed down through generations. They contribute to the preservation of Uttarakhand's cultural heritage and even traditional knowledge. It promotes the intergenerational learning and knowledge transmission. So everything is, like learned by the word of mouth or through folk songs or different storytelling. Then it instills a pride in the legendary figures such as Jidu Badgawal, Suraj Nag, Lal Singh, Kantura and Rana Ghavar. Please forgive my pronunciations.
I want to say that.
Yes.
Okay, for pronunciations.
Yes. This rich cultural heritage further strengthens the faith that people have in archeries as supernatural guardians. They are entrusted with sacred rights over the mountains and forests. So again, like here, it's a take that they protect the space. So not essentially malevolent, but protective and fierce in nature.
And do you notice, like, in every folklore, it's basically word of mouth that travels through.
Yeah, we had a lot of our folklore passed on through the word of mouth.
Exactly. Like, there's no written documentation, nothing like that. It's just word of mouth and belief that has been going around for ages.
Like now we have like a lot of documentation and papers and
like
obviously that is how we got this information.
Right.
But yeah,
but
the source of it is like word of mouth.
Exactly.
And people
back.
who know the word.
It has just come from people who have been through a lot and they have seen a lot.
And they've carried all of that.
Right, exactly.
Like 10 others. Furthermore, the folklore of archeries can also be a great approach when it comes to promoting environmental conservation. So you're not like saying like this is a very well active area, so you better not mess with it.
Right, exactly. Like, people listen to all these kind of information.
Yeah, fear can also be like a detrimental factor when it comes to shaping the
Exactly. Fear, curiosity, and making up like, if you look at a place and say that, oh, this place is haunted, you will literally see that
inherently feel like let's keep it there.
Yes, exactly. So that's the exact thing that
from the heart you'd have a feeling and a voice telling you go away, just no. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, basically the same thing. Not the same haunted thing, but the same concept.
The fear of the unknown, keeping it.
Right.
So folklores can be interpreted as cautionary tales to protect people from the many dangers of the wildlife and the treacherous terrain that exists in such areas. There are steep slopes, unpredictable weather conditions, hidden water bodies, and even slippery paths through the forest and the mountain.
Right, there is that too.
The practical kind of
logic is basically to keep you safe from the mountain itself. Because you never know what is coming up next. Like, stick to the trail, don't go.
You never know when the trail is cracked or slippery or like sliding.
Right. And it's not just that, like many people have a habit of going off trail. Like there's a reason why those trails exist, and if you're not,
why you should not be like stepping out.
Right. More so is the fact that if you're not a local of that place,
you don't know the area.
Yes. And if you don't know the area, it's always best not to, act like you know it and go around doing anything that you're not supposed to do.
Because then you'd be yelling for help and you never know when the help arrives or if something else does.
Right.
Exactly. Right. So these stories encourage people to exercise caution and respect the power of nature. Fairy tales in Uttarakhand also serve as a form of folk wisdom, encouraging safety and responsible behavior in the face of natural hazards. So as we know, the area is like really, really sensitive when it comes to causes of natural calamities. So yeah, that is one way to approach it. Now, what are some of the ways in which folklore can help? So it promotes like the use of hemp shoes as a traditional footwear compared to what we consider traditional right now. And like hemp shoes are promoted because they're softer and lighter and reduce the harm that might come to the resources in the forest.
Right.
Now, when we're talking about bright colors, they can disturb or provoke wild animals, disrupt their natural behavior, obviously.
It makes sense.
Now, together, these practices demonstrate a respectful and a mindful approach to preserving the integrity of the forest and honoring the natural and cultural heritage. Using the myth and the legend, the community may have been trying to discourage human activity, thereby maintaining the delicate balance of an ecosystem. And this is one of the most probable approaches.
That's a more like, logical aspect of the entire thing.
Like the area is so sensitive, you better take care of the ecosystem that exists in the area.
And what better way to promote it rather than promoting, stories.
And stories that intrigue people. Driving intrigue and then bringing out a solution.
Like it also brings in tourists and also makes them, be aware of the surroundings.
True.
And stops them from doing
who knows, like it will be another promotion of, like through the word of mouth.
Right, exactly.
The myth of archeries in Uttarakhand also plays a significant role in the education and awareness, particularly in the realm of environmental conservation and sustainability.
Makes sense.
The archeries have been known to bless humans and offer guidance and even protection in times of need. They can represent, like I said, both fear and hope in a community, and they can be harmful as well as beneficial, depending upon whatever circumstances we're talking about. Now, these narratives appear fanciful tales. They can be for entertainment and education. However, the fairy lore can also be taken as a warning to the dangers that might lurk in the wilderness. It is not only creative but also an effective strategy that brings out useful results.
Right, exactly like we said, like what better way to, stop people from going somewhere other than fear.
Also, yes, and also like there's places that there's occurrences that lie beyond the explanation.
Right.
Of science all the time. So while we look at things with a like practical lens, where we're talking about the many scientific ways in which things might be, the sensitivity of the environment, there's also a group of people who happen to be avid believers and worshippers of these deities, and they say that these exist in the mountains and forests of Uttarakhand and have a significant impact on the life of people, even if they are not actively trying to make a difference. So
it's like beliefs.
Yes. Despite not being visible, they shape and impact people significantly. So lastly, while we were talking, we mentioned the tales of different people, right? So one of them was Jitu Badgwan. Now, Jitu was the subject of one of the mountain's most famous legends. He was a young man who played the flute in a beautiful way, and the fairies gathered to listen to him. So Jitu visited his sister's village on a 6-Gati Ashad day. Like 6-Gati Ashad is defining the kind of day and the prahar that it was, I guess. Like the time of the day and the day.
Okay.
Along the way, he played the flute on Khet Parvat. His music drew the attention of the fairies and drew them closer, and when they appeared, they offered to take him along on their trip. Jitu loved his family, and before leaving, he requested that he have a few days. He returned to the village and awaited for the chosen day. Then he vanished quietly. Some believe that the fairies took him away because he was innocent, but the memory states that villagers looked for Jitu but couldn't find him for days. Years later, he is remembered through songs and prayers. And to the people, he was more than just a flute player. He was a unique individual, perhaps even a link between the world between that of the common man, and that of the deities and entities, that is, the Acharyas. Wow. So that drives us close to episode 4 of Pea Podcast. And we hope to see you the next week, and we hope that you enjoy. So, have you heard of fairies? What are some of the most common folktales that you have heard of associated to fairies? Leave them all in the description. Comments. We'd love to explore them. Feel free to share your tales. We have some stories that have already come in. We look forward to more, so that when we have enough tales, we can make up an entire story. Perhaps your story would be on the pod. So see you then, and up until the next Monday, take care. Bye.